Hey guys, today I wanted to do a review of the Color Me Calm coloring book. This was my very first coloring book I ever purchased, and I want to talk today about what I like and what I don't like. So first, let's talk about what I do like about this book. And I think the main thing that is really great about this book is the variety of different patterns and different types of images. So as we can see from the table of contents, there are 6 different chapters in this book: mandalas, water scenes, wooded scenes, geometric patterns, flora and fauna, and natural patterns. And so I think that's really awesome if you're someone who's just starting out coloring, you haven't had a lot of experience trying different types of images, and you want to see what you like, what you don't like, and you want to figure out what your next coloring book should be after this one. So now I want to show you a few of the pictures in the book. So here's the mandalas. I think this might be the water scenes, some geometric patterns, here. Let's see, here's a scene. It's like a cabin in the woods. So as you can see, there's a pretty big variety in terms of what types of images there are in this book, which I think is nice. Another thing that I like about this book is the images are relatively simple, and what I mean by that is it doesn't take a ton of time to complete the drawings. So for example, this is the first one I did, and it's not super intricate. This one probably took me 2 days, coloring 1 to 2 hours a day, which is not a ton. And to compare the intricacy of this book, I can show you The Secret Garden and a similar image that I colored in that book. Okay, so here on the left I have Color Me Calm, and the right I have The Secret Garden, with 2 pretty similar types of images. They're both, round images with flowers. And as you can see, The Secret Garden here on the right is a lot more intricate. And I think this is a good point of comparison because a lot of people have The Secret Garden. It's a pretty popular coloring book. So just for sake of comparison, here's Color Me Calm on the left. And as you can see, it's a lot simpler. And as you can imagine, it would take less time to color this. It's also a smaller image. The pages themselves are smaller. And so you're going to be able to do more in a shorter amount of time. And personally for me, I think that's nice because I like to be able to try out different patterns, different images, and I don't always like waiting around for weeks to finish one image. I just want to start the next one already. So I think if that describes you and you think you are more impatient of a colorer, then I think this could be a really great book for you. On the other hand, if you're someone who really likes to spend a long time and are willing to spend a long time to make something that's super intricate and super detailed, then maybe you'd be better off buying one of the more intricate books and skipping this one. The other thing I like about this book is a lot of the images I really like. I think they're pretty. Here's a little bit more intricate one, but I think this is one of the most intricate. Here's another one that I did that is a river scene. So I think there's some nice images in here. Some mandalas. So overall, I think that there are some really pretty images, and I'm sure that you could find something that you like in here. Here's a cat. That's cute. So after those things that I like, I wanted to share some things that I really am not super crazy about in this book. So the first is that I don't really like that there's all of these colors in the book that are, like, for example, on the borders, you have color. On the back of the pages, you have color. I'm not super crazy about that, and this is why. I talked about this a little bit in my last review of The Secret Garden, which I will link below. And that is that I feel like when there's colors on the page, when there's example images, then sometimes I get those images in my head, or I get those colors in my head, and it's hard for me to just have a totally blank slate and just be totally creative. I like it to just be totally black and white, and every single color that's in the book is from my pencil. And so also within this book, other than just the borders, is you also have example images. So here's one that's like partially colored. It shows how you can use pen and add some extra lines. Here's another example images that's already completed. And I don't really like that, because I feel like after I've seen this image, it's just like I have that standard in my head, and I'm like, I need to do it that well, or I get this the image of this picture in my head, and I'm like, well, I have to like copy them. And I understand not everyone's like that. Some people really love the example images. I can see how it would be nice to have that inspiration. But for me personally, I don't really like that, and that's a negative for me. Another thing I'm not crazy about is the paper. It's pretty thin. Something about the paper, I don't really like how it feels in my fingers. It's very thin. Something like when I rub my nails against it, I just don't really like the feeling, which may sound trivial, but for me it's pretty important, just because if you're spending so much time coloring in the book, you want it to be a pleasant experience. So that's a negative, but it's not a huge deal. For me, I've only been using colored pencils, and that has worked well. I haven't had any problems with the paper as far as that goes, but I would imagine maybe if you're using marker or other types of medium that may blade through, then you may have more of an issue with this paper. So the last thing is that even though I said as one of my pros to this book that I like the images, and I think that's true. I do think that there are some really nice images in here. I wouldn't say that I'm completely in love with the pictures in here. I think there's a good variety, but for me, I don't really love all of them. Here's one that I'm not too crazy about. A mouse with a teddy bear. I mean, I guess that's kind of cute, but I don't know. It's what I like. I like that there's a ton of variety. I like that. I do like a lot of the pictures, but I think this book is better for someone you're just starting out in coloring. And the reason for that is there's a ton of variety, so you can see what you like, what you don't like. And you can also get through these pictures pretty quickly. So that way you can really test out different things, especially if you're a new colorer. You want to be able to try out different color palettes. You want to be able to try out different types of pictures, different content of images. And I think this is a really great coloring book to start. I wouldn't say it's my favorite coloring book, but I think there's definitely a lot to like about this book, and I recommend it to any of you who are new to coloring, who maybe are looking for your very first book to pick out. So if you like this review, please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing more reviews in the future. If you have any requests of books that you would like me to talk about, please feel free to comment and say that. Other than that, thanks for watching, and hope to see you back soon. Thanks.